Dual set. Heart to
Heart
heart.
to heart.
Just
Noonas
podcast
podcast
Podcast. Welcome back to the Noonas podcast. I'm your host, Jenny, as always with my co-host, Ginny.
Hi there, and a good evening to you, Jenny. How was your weather?
I've officially established I hate winter. It is too cold outside. I really hate it.
Yeah, same here. Like we're in the deep freeze. Like we're in like under the cold snap because I was afraid that like some of the stuff in our house is gonna like screw up like the water heating, and yeah, it's not a good look. We're like under like the minus 30s, 40s Celsius. So I don't know how you can calculate that in Fahrenheit.
Sounds a lot worse than in Fahrenheit, I'm sure. I know we've been under wind chill advisories, no warnings. It's not like we had the polar vortex a couple years ago when that was really bad. I just know it's been about 0 degrees Fahrenheit here. So I think in about Celsius, that's about what, negative. Oh my God, let me do calculations. I should know this because I work in the medical field.
Yeah. So you're tuning into the Noonas podcast for the weather report.
Exactly. But anyways, it's been cold. So hopefully we're going to heat you up this week with the Noonas podcast, especially as we're going to get into some of our quote unquote ho anthems as we are coming to you as this episode is dropping on Valentine's Day.
So maybe
happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. So maybe Jenny, you can like explain a bit before we go into the songs. Like, what are the ho anthems? Like, what are they like really like in terms? Because I think it's kind of like an in joke within K-pop fans, and I don't know like if people will be able to catch on with like that kind of like name.
Yeah, there's definitely is a big running joke among K-pop stans throughout the internet. That there's a lot of the more like sexier songs, I guess, throughout K-pop. I mean, because there's a lot of sexy songs, obviously, in Western music too, but a lot of the sexier, slower songs, I guess not all of them are slow, but a lot of the sexier songs that we see throughout K-pop, we kind of start calling them the ho anthems, the thought songs, like, you know, those kinds of anthems. And so they kind of become like their own like sub-genre in K-pop. When we lovingly, affectionately call them that. So we thought it would be fun for Valentine's Day to share some of our favorites as of Valentine's Day 2021, to share a few of our favorites, just to kind of get you in the mood for Valentine's Day, whether you're celebrating with a loved one or if you're, celebrating Singles Awareness Day.
And hopefully since if a lot of like non-fans are the ones who are not into K-pop, maybe they can like see like a new side of like the genre and see like they can delve into a lot of like those steamier like mature content within like the pop genre, such as like K-pop. So hopefully they'll be able to like check out and just maybe appreciate some of the track that we're about to present here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all just cutesy, which you think K-pop is. There's a lot of sexier, steamier songs out there in K-pop that some of we have talked about on the show, but we'll dive into a few more as we go into the episode. But first, we have a few news topics we want to hit this week before we get into our ho anthems of Valentine's Day 2021.
Yeah, what are the breaking news, Jenny? What are the breaking news for today?
So couple of breaking news. We have a couple comeback announcements. We have no really new big comebacks coming next week. Next week, though, in terms of albums, we're going to have a slew of album releases and debuts next week. Next week's going to be a monster week for us because we have Chungha's finally releasing her album. As well as Kingdom's finally debuting. No, not the show, the rookie group.
The boy group, not the show.
Yeah, I had to keep making that distinction because the show Kingdom is finally going to be airing in April. Which I'm actually looking forward to Rookie, the group, debuting next week.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. Like, I really hope because the teasers are giving me a lot of like EXO's Mama debut vibes. So I'm just like hoping that they'll be able to have like unleash this kind of like epic feel to like their medieval concept. So I mean, there's the best, and hopefully it will come out good.
As is a D&D nerd, like this is screaming in my soul. So this is definitely like up my alley. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping to deep dive back into like their YouTube this weekend, just kind of get used to, like, kind of learn the members a little bit before they drop their debut track. But before that, we have some more comeback news in terms of albums dropping, coming back into February and into March a little bit, including next week. We actually have another comeback happening next week as well, although it's happening on the 19th. So it's Friday, so it'll probably be after we're recording next week. So another member of Monsta X, the maknae of the group, I Am, is actually going to be finally releasing his first solo digital mini album. Starship just finally announced that the other day, which is pretty big considering, again, we've only had one rapper really from Monsta X already debut with his solo work, and that's Joohoon, which I was kind of mixed on his solo debut. I don't know if you have listened to his solo stuff, Ginny.
There was like some songs that I was I went into, like I really like his song called Rappin' from his like mixtape. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I didn't really delve into like many of his like discography yet.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, it's a digital solo mini, so I think it's a pretty small release. But again, Starship's doing this whole Friday release thing at midnight Eastern time. I know they've been pushing this like whole like major US push because they're definitely trying to like, because they're really latching onto the US market. So sounds like they're going to be doing that. So it's like a 2 p.m. Korean Friday release time. So it's like 11 p.m. my time, Central Standard Time. So that's something to check out. Another group, and I was wondering if this was going to happen, if we were going to have another group competing on Kingdom. Again, Kingdom the show, not the group, on the Mnet show, going to have another comeback. Because like we said last week, ATEEZ is having a comeback as I'm in the middle of spiraling down comeback ATEEZ comeback hell here. I was wondering if another group was going to be having a comeback cycle while preparing for the show, and it sounds like we are. So
It's just a really good promotion of like the ones who are being like the competitors in the show Kingdom. It's like a really good opportunity for them to like promote like their work before going into the show, and maybe they can like have like people who are not like familiar, or people who have been like waiting for like their comeback for so long. Is just like really good way for them to like show themselves into like a wider audience.
And in this case, I really think it is because it's the group iKON, who really hasn't had a comeback in over a year. iKON hasn't really released anything since 2019, and even their 2019 comeback kind of flopped in a lot of fans' eyes. I think a lot of it was because it was the post BI scandal, but they haven't. Again, they said that they are currently filming the music video. They just announced this week that they're currently filming the music video this week and getting ready for a comeback. They haven't announced the date specifically, but they are gearing up for a comeback while they are also preparing for Kingdom. And what's also interesting is that one of the members in iKON, Bobby, also announced today, the day we are taping the show, that he is suspending his solo promotions because he literally just released his second solo album 2 weeks ago. And usually when you do like a project and you do your like promotions in Korea, it's usually about 4 weeks if you're doing your promotions like through the music shows and all the cycle and stuff. So the fact that he's cutting it off in about 2 weeks in to kind of gear up for iKON's comeback, as well as to get cut ready for Kingdom, is kind of interesting. But I suppose it'd be kind of insane for him to finish his comeback stuff for his solo album, then have to do iKON solo work, and then have to do Kingdom. That'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, pretty much of a surreal experience for him to like do all those things at once, and yeah, but I think people would be like really more excited for him to be back with his boys and just like be able to work together and do some more group like album. So yeah, but
Yeah.
hopefully he'll be able to like get his solo out too and be able to promote it afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, considering his solo album did do really well on iTunes, I guess it charted pretty well. I wasn't really a fan of it. His second full album is called Lucky Man. I wasn't really a fan of the soul to come from the album. So, but I digress. That's just my taste. It just felt very aggressive. And it just really felt like it was just like slapping me in the face. It's like
in your face. Yeah, I mentioned the Jenny. I mentioned the Jenny. It's kind of like that, like the scene from The Grinch where like Jim Carrey's character was just like barking at you at the camera. It's like going into your face, like whoa, whoa. It's kind of like that. I was about to send that gift to her, but I've still yet to like go listen to Bobby's and see if I felt the same way.
Yeah, well, so we'll see what happens with Icon. So I mean, it'll be interesting too because they'll be competing with ATs in terms of music show stage comebacks too. So it'll be a little taste of, I guess, what we'll see. But yeah, so we have that coming back, and then this just kind of got quietly because I just told this to Ginny before we even went on air that Wonder Girls Student Me, one of the queens of the queens of the solo world, is coming back on the 23rd of February, and that was just kind of quietly pushed out.
Yeah, because I haven't like heard like I don't know if I follow too much of like too many idols because that felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, oh, I didn't know that she's putting out another like album, and like I really enjoyed her last work, which is like Put Up Beat Bum. So hopefully she'll be able to and also like she also like made a duet with JYP, When We Disco. So yeah, I don't know when those came out. It's probably in the summer. So yeah, I think it is high time for her to like maybe have like another work like displayed or I don't know, promoted at this time, especially before we get like more major comebacks coming along the way. So yeah,
we will see what happens, but we're gonna start hitting the strides here as hopefully the weather starts getting warmer. But hopefully. So we like I said, next week's gonna be like the start of like us starting to wrap up getting more album reviews again on the show. But before we do that, we also have some other I don't want to really call breaking news because it's kind of broke yesterday. Yesterday being the day before we recorded. And again, this is kind of going back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago between Big Hit and YG Entertainment. And we were talking about that whole collaboration with them kind of coming together regarding streaming platforms and stuff. Well, it also kind of came to light yesterday. So between Big Hit and YG, and this is now also adding on Universal Music Group. So adding on a Western music label, which has also hopped on to Big Hit too, because they've actually gone on to Weverse and they're now adding Western or Universal Music Group artists to Weverse. And I've actually started seeing some Western artists getting added to Weverse. So it seems like Weverse is starting to grow to not just being a K-pop app, but starting to be like more of a global app. And starting to add more. So it's not just going to be just focused on, being just for K-pop, but being global. So it's kind of very fascinating thing, but it's being talked about and it's going to be brought up. So between Big Hit and Kiswe. So Big Hit and Kiswe have had this company that they worked with called KBYK Live, which is what they had used for their concert live streaming. So when they were doing their shows over the summer were with BTS. So when they were doing Bang Bang Kong the Live, which was their big fan show that they did during Muster, which is BTS's like anniversary time when they were doing their anniversary show, as well as Map of the Soul 1 back in the fall, which we talked about one of the first episodes we talked about on the show here. They used that platform. Well, it was now YG and Universal Music Group have now become joint investors with Big Hit and Kiswe, and now I'll add it in this money, and are now rebranding this platform into this group called Venue Live. And so what's going to be fascinating is now we have this new concert platform that we know is successful, that can, have millions of viewers on it at once, because the servers held a BTS concert on it, which had a lot of viewers on it at once and had multiple camera angles, as well as streamed in HD, it streamed in 4K, was able to connect via Bluetooth, is able to connect via the light sticks. If you know K-pop, light sticks are a very common thing. Every single group has a light stick, and every light stick is named separately. The arm for BTS is called an army bomb. And if you see any K-pop concert, like the whole audience is usually lit up with these, and they're usually synced via Bluetooth. And so there's like a light show that always goes on through the concert. And so with these two concerts, you were able to sync up your bomb to your computer and able to sync it to the show you're watching. So this just opens the door to all these like new possibilities for all this concert streaming that I'm seeing.
It's pretty much like, still like moving forward and breaking barriers towards like K-pop, and like being transcended into like other, like outside of Korea, so other, like more into like the Western society too. And since they're like becoming more like recognizable with like like BTS and Blackpink, and hopefully they'll be able to like be able to distinguish other like groups, and be able to acknowledge other like groups like NCT, Monster X, and even GOT7, other like like well-known names in Korea, and just have this new platform, like be able to like boost them forward. So it's a new like big thing for like the music itself.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing with this, and I'm thinking they're thinking now in terms in a post-COVID world, that I think that these online concerts are going to be a new thing, a new common thing that they're going to be able to do, that they're going to be able to host these shows, that they'll be able to do these one-off concerts for people. So because they can't get to every country in the world, so people can, see these concerts, and, enjoy kind of this concert-like experience, and be able to buy this, for multiple, different artists. So like this is, I think, a big step towards that direction.
Yeah, that's true.
This is combining both, you combine Universal Music Group, so you're hopefully combining a bit of the Western market into K-pop, and so it'll be very interesting to see, what comes from this, especially now as we're seeing a lot of artists now, rescheduling stuff into 2022, as we're kind of hopefully getting on this other side of this pandemic too, and where life's going to take us. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm really curious too. It's just like, I think one thing like about the pandemic is like having us do is just like being able to adapt into like new, like wider set of like communication, and like a new platform for people to I guess like be able to work, especially if they're at home, and like if they're stuck at home. So like finding it like new like alternative ways, like a more creative ways to like accommodate these kinds of like these issues. And it's just like really an exciting venture to see like businesses, especially with K-pop and other like music concerts, that they should like try out in the future. And like what with BTS and like other groups have been doing, it's like a really great move, and hopefully we'll be able to stick through even when this pandemic is over. So hopefully we'll see if it'll be able to like catch on in the future.
Yeah, considering how much success Big Hit saw with the BTS shows, and considering so much success YG hopefully saw with the Blackpink show that just happened, there I think is a lot of potential here. So and like I said, in like a post-pandemic world, we'll have concerts again, but I'm thinking this as an opportunity for people in countries that don't get concerts. Like, I'm lucky that I live in a country that, gets toured a lot in, because I live in the United States. But I'm thinking, and I have friends in other countries that don't you know, they have to travel to other countries to see a show if they're lucky. So, you know, this is a very positive thing I see. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but I mean, we're going to probably start seeing a lot of this like kind of big streaming news coming out, especially with this whole big hit YG collaboration. So
yeah, that too. It's just like I'm just like it's so unreal. I don't know how many like companies have done that in the past. Just like I don't know, SM or JYP to maybe like a minimal extent, but just for like a company like Big Hit and YG to like join forces to do something like something big like that is I don't think it's ever been done before.
Yeah, at this kind of level, I don't think so. I mean, it's unheard of like any of like the big at what point was the big three of are like collabing with one another, and now you're having, you know, ostensibly the biggest player in K-pop right now, Big Hit Entertainment, is like, hey, do you want to join in and help help the streaming platform grow? And YG's like, sure, or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, it's an unprecedented move that, I'm just like really excited to how they're going to like move things forward,
Yeah. So yeah, that's the news for the week, at least that I know of, that we're going to talk about. But so let's get into the meat of the episode this week.
Okay. Get ready, folks.
Yeah. Let's
NSW. The NSW, the Noonas After Hours episode.
Yeah, this is going to probably get very NSFW very quickly. So if you have very innocent ears around you, just going to warn you now, although there might be a lot of cursing. If they haven't like known us personally. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to, I know I'm going to actually let you kind of take the lead, Jenny, because I know the way we had kind of set up our picks, I know you had a lot more solo artists and I had a lot more group picks in terms of music. So
yeah, just rearrange it to where like the discussion and our certain artists would like flow as smoothly as possible. So so what I have first is going up with the male solo artists in K-pop. So we have Hoya, who used to be from a group called Infinite. So Hoya is a person that I need to, I guess, learn or like delve into more, as well, also with his group Infinite, because I just like found this song like randomly when just like searching a playlist for like Ho anthems before. And this song came about, and then I just really got into like the sound of the song. So like when I listened to it, has like a really harkens back to like the 2000s and a bit of like the 2010s R&B. So you can hear like a bit of like either Chris Brown, Neo, and a bit of like Frank Ocean as well. And like what made this this song such a whole track is just like get instantly hooked with like the heavy R&B electronic instrumentals that really makes you like get into like the mood of like what you're gonna deal with like with your significant other. I'm trying to make it like as PC as I can. In the family home.
This is gonna be hard to make as PC as you can. At this point, we're not gonna make it as PC, I think.
I'm gonna leave that to Jenny. To that advantage. Thanks. Yeah, but the music video though, because I really recommend you listen to this song as well as like watching the music video, because it really sells it with Hoya and his dance partner's performance. They really had like this really sensual chemistry and like made like this dance choreography that interprets a lot of like suggestive undertones with their dance. It just really makes the whole thing like super sexy. And it really the aesthetics too is like almost like a grayish blues color palette is like really gets you into the mood. It's sorry it's really like it's I really enjoy like the music itself and like in the music video too. So that's my first pick, Hoya with the song Angel. So really,
I have nothing else to add. I think you explained that one perfectly. It's very like late 2000s, early 2010s R&B, very smooth, very sultry.
Yeah, very sultry. really
So
helps with like with really good vocals with Hoya, so which I pretty much have that kind of like category or like that kind of classification of like really good Ho anthems, like the really really sweet like vocalizations from artists. Going on to my next pick, we have Wonho, who used to be formerly from Monster X, with his debut track, Open Mind. So this song came about like last year, so it's pretty much new into the list. And this is like something I would like kind of fear. I don't know much about like with so need to be more familiarized with Monster X and like their members, but I knew when it comes to Wonho, like like it's kind of like Starship's mistake for like kicking him out of the group, because they just let him loose and just like get all just like just put his hoe out into like the public. And just like he's like so like more free to like do what he wants and show his body and just do all these kinds of like subject matters like. And his debut song just like really killed it for me. So
yeah, I mean, it's what's interesting is that he was let go from Monsta X for stuff that came to basically came to light that never really happened, or he was cleared from, but the damage was done. He had got let go from his contract from Monsta X, but Starship let it back in as a solo artist. Starship being the company that runs Monsta X too. So he's as a solo artist now, and God, his Dorito chip of a man.
He let loose after like since I'm going solo, I can just do whatever I want, just like show up like my muscles and like his well toned like his bod. Anyways, but he's under like a subdivision of Starship. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a subdivision of the company. But like that music video itself, especially with the song, it took the K-pop industry and a bit of like even the Western side of the world by storm, because like people were like just like so awestruck with this, like his just the way he looks and like the way he dressed, and as well as because how people think like K-pop idols are just like mostly like skinny, but he's the one who's like breaking that like stereotype and just like showing like idols can be as muscular and can like but like there's so many of them that you need to like look into. Reference with the big man titty community. Probably like have an episode based on that, maybe.
Are we gonna have to go reference BM's big titty committee, big titty squad?
Oh man, like quickly like a shout out, but they're really like really cool group, especially with like the leader BM, like holding that squad together, but also like doing good work for charity too, like trying to put their merchandise into like the breast cancer research. So it's he's actually doing this light meme into like better causes. Side note, I actually have one of his hoodies. So I was meaning to buy like one of his hoodies, but they're already sold out quickly.
Yeah, they sell it quickly, but I managed to snake one of his hoodies, and it's the cool thing is that all the hoodies that he puts out, because it started as a joke, and it really actually took off to this really awesome place where all the proceeds go to breast cancer research. So David Titty joined the committee.
So going back to Wonho, and he really like this one song, a departure from like Hoya's like slow R&B sounds. This song from Wonho with Open Mind like leans more into like the dance side of the song, of the music, because it really brings a good balance of like the upbeat 80s synth bass electro pop with like more of like the sexually implicit lyrics. If you guys like read into the what he's singing about, it's basically a one night stand. That's what it's mostly about. I do recommend like listening to the Korean and the English versions of the song, because they're really worthy of a listen, and they really, even the English really flowed well in the song itself. I think you're about to say something, Jenny.
No, I was gonna say I mean it's he knocked it out of the park with with his solo debut, and he literally is coming back next week with the second half of his solo debut. So we're expecting more.
I sent like that picture with to Jenny because he's like. God. I think he's using his body as like as an advantage or like a way for him to promote, because like he just like one of his promo pictures is just like him like showing his back, and I think he's like wearing some like translucent clothing. Like you can see the actions of his muscles. It's just Wonho he's really doing that, and he knows what he's doing. Especially when you look at his Instagram, it's just him like showing his legs, just like his back. It's just almost like shirtless all the time. It's like, yeah, no, come on, Wonho, like you're not slick with what you're doing with your fan base.
And I say this with all the most respect in my heart, but this himbo of a man, God,
himbo.
Oh my God, he's such a himbo, but I love him. Because he's such a dork. He's such a dork, but
a dorky personality. And but like when he gets to his artist side, is just like like he goes into like a Magic Mike territory whenever he performs.
Yeah, he's easily like if you wanted to create Magic Mike, look at Wonho. Seriously.
Yeah, Wonho. Channing Tatum, if you're gonna do another Magic Mike, get Wonho in your cast.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah. And so third song for the Ho anthem, I have Dean with his song Pour Up, which is featuring Zico. This was another song that I just came about to when going to like a playlist of Ho anthems. So I took a listen to the song, and I really like how what I noticed about the song in general is like the music production bears almost an identical resemblance to American R&B pop that you would probably hear on the radio. So like a bit of like a Drake elements, again putting back Neo, and even like the music kind of reminds me of a bit of Logic's and how he would like make his music. So yeah, it even applies like I even like looking at the music video, which you should like also like check out, because a lot of the Ho anthems you have to look at the music videos to just it really emphasizes like the theme of like the genre, the subgenre of music. The American like style R&B hip hop, the composition, you can like see like how the vocalist would be like a major part of like this song, and then later on you'll get the featured rapper like either coming in towards the middle, or either the last the final verse of the song, so that it can like harken back to like that usual American formula of like making like R&B music nowadays. So that's what I like interpret, or like what I like thought of. And and the music too, it really associates well with like the monochromatic minimalist aesthetics of the video. It's really less dependent on like going into like the usual K-pop light shows and like the choreography, and it shows like him like with him like in an open like surrounding, and him like in like this really luxurious mansion with this girl on him, and it's just like had like going like showing off his like his riches, and just just always like this like showing off all this glamour, and just like but putting it in a monochromatic tone. It really like accents well when what he's making with the music. So yeah, that's what I pretty much thought of like Pour Up. And I think Jenny, you have like another pick from Dean. Maybe you can like chime in. And,
yes, I had another pick too. That also featured Dean. Because I feel like that whole album that Pour Up is on. The album Trouble 130 Mood TRBL is a great album. It tells a really, really great story. A lot of Ho anthems on that album, but there's another song off of that album called Bonnie and Clyde that is very, very good. It's along those similar lines of just that R&B, very smooth, just got that great vibe to it, and just super smooth, that just flows super well. And it's just like kind of like clubby, like you kind of want to groove and vibe to. That just really gets me, kind of gets you in that vibe. So and it's, yeah, he plays that vibe so well. And it's kind of a shame that he hasn't really like released a lot of solo music like since 2017. He does a lot of production now, Dean. And so, cause like what he had produced, like he did a lot of stuff in like 2015, 2016, 2017. He does a lot of production stuff now. And yeah, he's produced a lot of really good R&B. But yeah, both of these songs, and like I said, the whole album that these are featured on is super, super good.
Oh yeah, it does like get you into the mood, like, you know, being with like your significant other and just like treating her, like treating or him or her into like this really sultry like scene, you know. So I think Dean with like the songs Pour Up and Bonnie and Clyde, like they're really good picks that, you know, totally recommend that you like to play around during Valentine's Day. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Next pick, we're gonna go into the female solo artists of K-pop. So we have this is a newer recently added mix. Yeah, because I think this song came out like, I don't know, it's like several months ago, like around November, December. And this is an English track actually, but it came from a solo artist named Chungha. And the song is called Dream of You with Rehab, who's I think doing the music production of this song. So apart from like Wonho's sexy dance beat, you have Chungha, who's I think like pretty much the female counterpart to Wonho's Open Mind, because it expresses more of like a feminine perspective within its lyrics, trying to like please her partner and also integrating a lot of like Vogue pop and dance choreo. Even the music too, like has like a lot of like bop, like heavy beats of like you can harken back into a lot of 80s and 90s pop back in the days. And what I love about like in this perspective, it just displays a more womanly approach. Like Chungha is able to express that kind of that style of like in her music that's not like away from the cutesy persona of girl groups or even the loud teen punk style of like other girl groups. So yeah, she really channels a lot of like elements of really iconic pop American pop artists such as Madonna, Beyonce, and even Lady Gaga. And yeah, I just really love like the lyrics that she brought out, and like the music, and like even the dance was able to, you know, it's like a classic pop music that you would probably like think, oh, it came from like America. So yeah, I'm really admiring Chungha's works right now. I think she's becoming one of my favorite female solo artists in K-pop right now, and she will be dropping her album pretty soon as well. Like her Bicycle would probably her single track, and so that's going to be coming out soon. Hopefully, you guys would look forward to it.
Hopefully, I think that's next week. So
yeah, next week. Yeah, do you have anything to say about like Chungha, or is this?
No, I mean, yeah, Chungha's got just some great like. She's a lot of her stuff I find is very clubby. So I actually haven't heard Dream of You, so I have to actually go back and listen to it myself. Especially since it's just more recent.
Yeah, it was almost like a companion piece to her other song way back is Stay the Night. She really hones into like, you know, like the Vogue scene, as well as like including a lot of like LGBTQ themes, as well as like having like male backup dancers performing in high heels and like with heavy makeup too. So I really love her, like her inclusion and representation and adding those elements into her works. So yeah, hopefully she can continue with that, with those stuff as well.
Yeah, and Stay Tonight is very much like it's a straight up club song. Like you could hear it totally in a gay club. Like it's
I put this in the LGBT like Pride month playlist that I have here. So
that I actually did make into a Spotify playlist myself. So
awesome. Yeah. Moving on from Chungha, we have Yuri from Girls' Generation with the song Illusion. I was actually new to listening to this song recently, because I would like to thank my sister, Tabby, who played that song when I was like around. And then I heard like the music, like, oh, like who's that from? Like, oh, I just found it in like another set of Ho anthems. And so, yeah, I instantly put that in my playlist. And like Girls' Generation is such a like iconic girl group, and broke a lot of like standards of like K-pop back then, especially with the girl groups, and they even like kickstarted a lot of things, like promotions. I think they helped boost the photo cards for their fan base. But yeah, something that in Girls' Generation, something I would like need to be more familiarized with, because I've heard a lot more stuff more from their members, certain members such as Tiffany Young, and Taeyeon, who is their leader, and Yuri, not that much, but with Illusion, I just love how like the overall arrangement of the song creates such a like a playful, flirtatious setting. It's kind of like it kind of like a representation of a foreplay, if I say so.
Mm-hmm.
And it really worked with Yuri's like breathless vocal delivery of the song. It really much blends the whole thing together, and I really love like the upbeat funk, and the R&B just makes it like really something that you would groove to. So that's what I have with Yuri's Illusion. I wonder if you heard that song too.
I just actually listened to it because you shared it with me as we were getting our song choices together. And yeah, Girls' Generation, I have listened to a few of their songs, and this is one group we're definitely covering on a Wikipedia. This is one group that hands down defined the second generation in terms of girl groups, defined K-pop groups, period. Like what you have now is because of Girls' Generation, and all of them are amazing vocalists and amazing talents, and even from just their like them together as a group as well as their solo work is amazing. And yeah, I had not heard a lot of Yuri's. Obviously, I've heard a lot of Taeyeon's solo stuff, because her stuff is just beautiful. She's got such a gorgeous voice. But listening to Illusion, I was just like, wow, this like floored me. I was like, this is super like, this is like something you definitely like throw on like right before you're about to get yourself ready for, little, action in the bed. It's get yourself kind of ready in the mood. And I was just like, this is really like, I have to like go find some more music from her and kind of check out what she's got. So I was like, I really got to go check out more Girls' Generation. I really like, this is a blip of my radar. Like I need to fix, seriously.
Yeah, I just really love the composition of the song too, the arrangement, because it has like a playful like verse, and then when you get to like the bridge, it's just like has like a smooth, almost like a sentimental feeling, and then when you go back to like the playful tone in the chorus and as well as like the chorus and what it has, like the sound that it exudes from like the chorus is almost like some like bedtime noises that you would hear. Excuse my language here, but that's what I thought of when I heard like the chorus. Like, getting my mind in the gutter here. But I that's why I like such a really worthy contender of like a Ho anthem.
Oh, our minds are always perpetually in the gutter here, so at least mine is. So. Good company.
All right, and I'm kind of like saving the best for the last for like the female artists of K-pop, because we have I don't know how to pronounce this her name. Is it Gain or Gain? Because sometimes they would have like a different pronunciations.
I think it's Gain. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, when you shared this with me and once that first like beat dropped, I was like, oh, it's this song. I was like, oh.
Yeah, okay. So the song that I have from Gain or Gain, this is called Paradise Lost. And Gain used to be a member from a really classic girl group called Brown Eyed Girls. So they were really prominent during the second gen of K-pop music. So their really famous track was called Abracadabra, which like dance move was adapted to Psy's like Gentleman, and which Gain was also like a part of in Psy's video. So yeah, it's pretty much a tidbit of her group before. But Paradise Lost, when it comes to Gain, she really exudes like the femme fatale, like the sex appeal of K-pop music right now. because like this song Paradise Lost is like one of the most mature K-pop selections due to like it's almost scandalous, almost like a sacrilegious subject matter of this song, as well as like the music video. Yeah, because it references a lot of like biblical allegory, especially when it pertains to um, portraying the first woman in the Bible, and this was the first sin, which was Eve. But what I really admire, and this is coming from a religious person, a Christian, what I admire about this artist and what she makes from this song is how she twists this negative connotation of like the first woman enacting like the first sin into the world, but making it like making it into a more liberating transformation for a woman. Like right now, like you know how women is like so always so easily persecuted when it comes to like sexuality and then sexual activity. But I like how she like pushes that the subject into making more of a liberating experience, and you know they should like women should be more free to express their own desires and their sexuality. So that's what I love about how you know like the analysis towards this song and video. And even the music video itself is has like her in a scantily clad outfit, like her is like almost in a one piece and like fishnet stockings, and like her with like the dance style that she does is like more of like a grinding performance where she always goes down, legs open, and like moving herself into on the floor. Even like this one like at the final bridge, she has her like slithering around like a snake. I think it's to portray herself as like the serpent from the Bible, Satan. So that's pretty much what I got from like the music video. And yes, it was like woo. That was something else.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like you were just kind of like, wow. It's like you see this video and you're like, all the biblical allegories are like you throw all of them at this, but it's like it's done in this really, really beautifully done way, and it feels very like women's liberation, because considering there are a lot of Catholics in Korea, like Catholicism is pretty big in Korea. The Catholic Church definitely converted a lot of Koreans into when they went over. So there is quite a bit of a big part of it. So it's kind of interesting seeing all these, like, because I will mention there will be another song later in the playlist that has also a lot of biblical allegories. We'll get to it later. So yeah, just so like to see that, and just like, and then also just the song too, and it's just like, especially just how the beats and stuff too with it is just like, you're just like, you have shivers when you watch the music video.
And it's almost like epic on a scale too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, you should definitely like watch the music video.
Yeah, this is one where you need to watch the music video with the song to absorb it all.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, all right. So we're gonna move on to like more actually like more solo artists, but the following two artists I have here come from a group, Shiny, which will definitely be discussing in our future Wikipedia sessions, because they will be coming back soon with new comeback album. But for here, the first artist I will discuss is the late great Jonghyun, who used to be from Shiny. Two songs that I have here. Like one of my favorite songs from Jonghyun, which is first Moon, and then the next song is Aurora. And like what these two songs exude is, I just really love like Jonghyun's vocals, because they make the whole theme so powerful and passionate, and it's just like it's like his voice and like his style of music is just fitting of a classic R&B genre. You can tell like the way how he makes and like he does his like his songwriting and how he makes his music is like so evidently is inspired from '90s artists and groups such as Aaliyah, Joe Dacey, Babyface, etc. So you should really like look into more of his discography and see how much impact he made on on the K-pop world. And it's something that we're gonna greatly miss too from Jonghyun, because I don't think anyone could be able to replicate that type of sound and that type of like music. That's like so like a love letter to like '90s music. It's just it leaves you like awe inspired, like from my personal experience. And I love like Moon. It's like it's such like kind of like worthy of like a baby making track, and like it makes it like the accents sound like much more passionate, much more like vibrant. I think
Yeah,
like,
you hit the nail on the head with Moon. It really is. It's just like it's a shorter song, but it just like in that like almost it's a little less than 3 minutes long, but it just every second of it just exudes that like the '90s R&B so well. And yeah, unfortunately Jonghyun is no longer with us, and he's sorely missed in the K-pop world. Sorely missed.
Yeah. So we'll be moving on from what I love about like Jonghyun's style is when you go into like the opposite end of like the music spectrum, which is his member and also the youngest member of SHINee, Taemin. What I love how is like it has like a polar opposite, but still makes it some kind of like sexual like energy towards it, because from my selections from Taemin, I have 4 actually, because with Taemin, he's pretty much the king of home music in K-pop right now.
I was just saying these 4, like this just scratches the surface of Taemin, because seriously, he has way more, and I could have added more for Taemin. Yeah. So this is barely scratching the surface of this.
There are so many to pick from Taemin's discography, because a lot of them are such like definite ho anthems. But the I think the most popular one from his works is Move. So that was my first pick. And then the other 3 songs, we have Sexuality. Third one is Slave, which is a Japanese single from his album. And the last one is called Nemo, from his recent work from Never Gonna Dance Again, Act 1. So what I like with these songs, especially with Move and Sexuality, they're just like prime examples of like liberal sexuality and fluidity, because like his music, like it brings like a more openness and availability to like people in like whatever like their orientations or like their preferences are. The musical style, like it leans more into like the '80s synthwave pop, whereas Jonghyun was more like the R&B sounds. And yeah, Taemin's usage of this '80s synthwave is like such perfect for his style, as the '80s holds a lot of like the androgynous scene, to which he himself became that representation for K-pop itself, and brings a lot of like femininity into his performance and his way of like singing. It's like this distinguishable vocal range. It like has like a really breathy nasally. It's like an ambiguous within like the masculine and feminine voice. So like people should like really look into like Taemin and see like how much he impacted like his way for like the K-pop scene, like in terms of fashion, in terms of like the dance. It's he left a mark, and hopefully he'll be able to like push through with his work, since he's like really active with SHINee, his solo career, as well as with the supergroup K-pop is Super M. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
We've talked about Taemin so much, especially because he just had his comeback not that long ago with Never Going to Dance Again, Act 1 and 2. And I mean, yeah, we've hit the nail on the head, and he's again coming back in a couple weeks with SHINee, with their most recent comeback. So, but yeah, his solo work is very much like he's built on that whole androgynous look and that whole '80s synth pop kind of sound, and it makes for really good baby making music, like for lack of a better term.
I think Slave and Nemo are more of like the '90s R&B sounds, more as Move and Sexuality are more of like the '80s like synth wave sound.
Yeah, where I can see like it's more his more recent stuff like Criminal and Idea kind of kind of maybe bridge the gap a little bit of those, both of them. You know what I mean? They kind of combine them maybe a little bit more into the they kind of bring in the more modern like the EDM aspects of it a little bit too.
Yes.
So
all right, so we will be able to like dig deeper into Taemin and as well as Shiny's work some in the near future. But right now we'll be moving on to another SM entertainment group, which is EXO, and some of the featured artists that me and Jenny will be talking about. So first with EXO, one of my favorite two songs that I really like that would like fit for a whole anthem. One is Sweet Lies, and then second song is called The Eve. And what I love about like EXO, because they're one of my favorite groups active right now, it's just like how the group like really evolved from like being this regular teen K-pop boy band to delving into more of a mature old school genre such as the R&B, funk and soul. I think after Shiny, like EXO is already like going like breaking that like that, being able to like have that their voice and their rapping skills fit within those kinds of genres. And like with the songs like Sweet Lies, which is like a really slow love making jam, and the vocals like and the rappers really honed the sound, and they add such a great balance on all levels of sexy, especially with Chanyeol's like deep voice rapping, and then you get to like Dio, Chen, and like Baekhyun's like really powerful vocals. It's just something that you should like really need to listen to. And most importantly, most especially when you like look at the performance or like the dance choreography for The Eve, they really did that with like their grinding like movements. And I really recommend you like watching their dance practices as well as like their concert performances for The Eve, because the chorus dance part was like one of like a really famous move that people like fans a lot of them like to do in their videos. So yeah,
and I think The Eve is just like it's an interesting song because it was one of their like singles that they released, and it's so different from like typical like K-pop songs that you see just in terms of its composition and just like how it's built up and stuff, because it's the instrumentation and stuff, but it's so good. Like it's that R&B, like super slow R&B sound to it. Just is super fulfilling. And I really like The Eve. Like that was one of the first songs that really grabbed onto me when I started getting into EXO was The Eve.
Yeah, and they really drove like the part when they started like grinding in the chorus line. I really wanted to learn that move, and I think it's like one of the easiest like dance choreographies. It's just like sway your hips and just like move your arms like slowly as you can. It's just something you would see in like this male stripper dance.
I think it's easier than growl, because I've attempted growl and I can't still nail growl.
Oh yeah, I don't think any of us can.
No.
But yeah, going on from like EXO to some of like their solo artists or like their solo their members. I have here Baekhyun from EXO with a song called Ice Queen. And yeah, this is a personal thing for me with Ice Queen, because this was like a summer jam when listening to that song, because it gives you more of like like the vocals other than like Jonghyun. I think Baekhyun is one of like really a really good powerful vocalist that right now in K-pop. It really has like that really strong passionate like tone that it can sway you to like more of like an intimate degree, because like he like his voice like can be like really soothing, and that it can really hold like a really good a good note too, because he can really hold a note. But with the song, it just gets you to like to move and forward with like its ambient sounds and surroundings, and it's also like a good like winter theme vibe, because it's called Ice Queen. And I'm kind of like freezing in this cold Canadian weather. So if I something wanted for me to like dance and jam out, I think Ice Queen would be like a good pick. And I definitely suggest you have to like listen to like the whole his solo album called City Lights back in 2019, because I love like his works there. Especially love the song "You and Village" too. So yeah,
that was his first solo debut, and that was such a strong debut, which I think everyone expected, because being him, like being one of the main vocalists of EXO. But I still think he knocked it out of the park when City Lights dropped in 2019, because it was just, even because You and Village even is super sexy in itself, just as a super sexy slow jam of a song. Like, definitely calling out to, because for those in the know, You and Village is basically like a definite bridge upper class neighborhood in Seoul. And that's what he's like.
Does Suga live from BTS? Doesn't he live there?
I think so. I don't know. They all keep moving to BTS. They're all getting like a real estate investment. It's been a whole running joke in BTS right now. I think Jungkook just sold his apartment or something.
He's like, he might have like a new house, but in Itaewon. But yeah, I like how kind of like I don't know if Bacon does live in UN Village, because that'll be so funny if he didn't. And he's like he was like, it's all about her, like him singing about, oh, come to UN Village with me, we can hang out and chill. And then like I can hear his like Sugar like, what are you doing here? You don't even live here.
Wait, you don't even live here. He doesn't even go here.
Don't go here. It's like breaking the whole mood together. But like You and Village and Ice Queen, there were such like hard picks, man. I would have like included both of them, but they were like, I already had like my spot filled up, and I have so many picks in this whole anthem. We could like really like dive into more like with EXO as well. And I think you also have like another member from EXO that you can I can jump from my selections into moving into yours next. So introduce you to the next EXO member, the next demon in K-pop.
We are going to transition from Jenny's picks to my picks, and we're actually going to smoothly transition from member of EXO from Baekhyun into Kai, and from his most recent and his first solo debut. And I know we talked about the song, but I'm talking about from his first solo debut album from last fall. But
I don't even want to pronounce or like say the title. I'm just gonna say MMMH, because I don't want to like make that sound of like this. I don't know. I'm so prude. I'm so prude. I just don't want to say that title track of Kai.
Well, I'm trying to do it's like this and then because I'm like, how do I do that between treasures? Okay, because there's no H at the end of treasures, so yeah. But getting back to Kai's song, but when that debuted, I know everyone was worried because like Kai's a dancer. How is his vocals going to sound? Because he's more, his obviously his one thing is his one big thing is dancing, but his vocals just I think work so well. That R&B style, and that like his just vocal range, because he has that bit of a like lower range that just and kind of more, I don't want to say gravelly, it's just a little bit more growly, for lack of a better term.
Whenever he like I think raps or like was more of a spoken, I think it's more of like a gravelly. But I think whenever he does like a more harmonious sound, it has like a really high pitch like nasally type of vocal range.
Yeah, kind of like I'm assuming he probably gets this from hanging out with Jimin. So because I know him and Jimin hang out. So Jimin from BTS. Because Jimin has that too a little bit. But yeah, because like he kind of has that, but like, and then just with the R&B, but there's like this like futuristic sounding R&B, like it's very sounds like with the. I'm trying to how do we explain? Because I think we explained it enough already when we talked about the album, but it just
I don't know, because SM is really good at like making a lot of like 90s R&B soul funk tracks. I think like or I'm going to say MMMH is like a really good like callback into like those really classic genres. So that's what I like think about that song.
Yeah, and it's just, but I think it's they kind of brought like a little bit of that futuristic touch with it, just kind of like what they do with NCT a little bit into it, and it felt so. it felt so futuristic, but yet brought it back to the 90s, if that makes sense. So it felt, and just with the lyrics and stuff too, and just the music video in itself with the moves and stuff, it just felt very sexy and very like I'm sorry, like I just kind of want to start grinding to the song anytime I hear it. Like,
yeah, especially when like his choreography and at the last part of MMMH, it's he did like body winding like a movement. It's just like wow.
yeah,
And a lot of like how other like people and like fans are just doing that dance challenge too. So it's really fun to like watch as well.
yeah. I mean, we've said so much about this song, but it really is up there in terms of Ho anthems, especially as of late. Like he added another one to the list. So thank you, Kai. I mean, he had a few off of that album, definitely. Because I mean, Nothing on Me, I think definitely is a Ho anthem as well. But but I'm actually going to move on to another SM artist as well. Into our Ho anthem playlist, I'm going to add another subunit actually from the group Red Velvet, girl group Red Velvet. This was a subunit that was introduced last year. Irene and Salugi from Red Velvet, and this is from their debut subunit, a track called Monster. Which I will say this, when this came out, there was a lot of drama around this coming out because it was like, where's the track? Why is it not coming out? Where's the track? Because it just like was not showing up on YouTube, and we're like, where's the track? Why is it not coming out?
Many people were so pissed because when they just dropped the lyric video and not the music video itself, and people like, are you serious, SM? Because they had like a countdown too to when like the music video is gonna like come out, but it's just like they just almost like a troll move from SM. It's just like, oh, sorry. They couldn't even explain to why they delayed it. It's like, man, and
they never explained what happened. So, but besides the point, the song in itself is again bringing again that 90s R&B. So that SM is, so good at doing, but kind of has like this sinister undertone to it, because it's kind of got this like weird, like kind of calling to it, that I'm a little monster. And even the music video itself is very suggestive. Like there's a lot of lots of grinding and lots of implied lesbianism, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I have like one YouTuber kept on calling it lesbian behavior, so that's when I'm gonna use that term as lesbian behavior.
We'll just go with that, because there is a lot of that in that song, or in the music video at least. But I mean, it really is like even in the lyrics itself too, it's lots of suggestive stuff going on in that. But I mean, it's kind of bringing again that whole like that R&B sound to it, but it's just got that darker twinge to it that just like makes it like, I don't know, it just makes it bedroom worthy.
Yeah, it's a really sultry tune, especially with like the backup vocalist, like the instrumentals you can hear the back with the really high pitch tone. It's kind of it brings out the more darker feel into like the whole song. Because
there's like these like higher pitched horns and stuff in the back, so it's like these different layers to it. It's very interesting with all the different combinations of stuff. So but that's definitely a song you should check out, is Monster by Irene and Salugi of Red Velvet. I'm going to go on to my final female solo artist that I'm going to pick for my Ho anthems, the 2021 Valentine's playlist, and I'm going to go take it to my girl Jessie of P Nation.
Your boy's favorite rapper.
My boyfriend's favorite artist currently. My boyfriend's favorite K-pop artist currently. And her song "Who Dat Be." She just plays a lot with the hip hop stuff, and she's just really in your face about it. Like she just like is a lot of like, FU kind of stuff. And I
Yeah,
mean,
she's
this is
like the Cardi B and Nicki Minaj of the K-pop industry. Like I get it
basically.
that she was raised from like America. She was like born and raised in America, and she really brought that kind of style into the K-pop world. And because you know how like a lot of like music videos like how they have like a bit of like a conservative taste with their content, but with her, she really broke that norm, and she really like expressed like more of herself, like showing like her body, and it's just like really liberating to see like female artists being able to like do that for like the music videos.
Yeah, and this was her first single that she released under P Nation when she first signed with them back in 2019. So it's just like it's seriously it's like it's just a great, I think just a great song, just because as a power anthem, just to kind of like express yourself, just kind of as a whole, like, but it makes you feel confident about yourself, but you feel good about yourself in a sexual way, because you can have a thought and whole anthem just to feel good about yourself, I find.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. And it's just, again, she's very much like on that hip hop kind of, if you're like early in that like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj kind of like train of stuff, but you want like hip, like, like K-pop kind of style, go listen to Jessie's stuff. She's got some great stuff, especially with her first album she just dropped this past year. Go check out Jessie. She's got great stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now then I'm going to go into my groups, because I have a few K-pop groups in terms of Ho anthems that I am going to share. And she's got, Ginny's so ready for this, isn't she?
I think the first thing we're going to mention, what they're doing is like a precursor to like a new like a fashion trend from like in K-pop, which I will try to mention it. But go ahead with your pick.
Do we just blurt it out right away and we'll just kind of go right into it?
Okay, I mean, okay. You know how I think with this certain group, they pretty much spearheaded the trend of male artists using or wearing chokers into like into their outfits. So I don't know if they're one of the first group to do that, but they like that song that they're gonna mention is like help push a lot of male groups and male artists to like wear chokers in their promotion and into their outfits, their suits.
Well, I will also say this: the song does not like hide anything. Like this song, you don't have to like, you read the translation and it's like, yeah, I know exactly what the hell you're saying. So the song in the group I'm talking about, of course, because I'm talking about the group Vix, and I'm talking about their 2015 song Chained Up. Which, yes, it is that kind of song. Like freeze, I am armored down, na 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 na, I'm a slave. Oh, it's all of that. I'm chained up. It is all of that, you guys. No, it's this song, like, besides the lyrics being like explicit. Like explicit on like what the hell it's talking about. It's just the style of it, and just like the club, the beat to it. It's just like, it just makes you want to like groove and like, kind of do your thing. But it's just like, it gets you in that mood.
Yeah, especially when the beat dropped at the very first second, like boo. It's just like, whoa, it gets you like bouncing. It's like, oh, here it is. It's just it gives you really like a sign of like how the music and the song is gonna like be too.
Mm-hmm. So and you're like, oh, we're here, and then you just go watch the music video, because that beat drops, and then you get into the music video and you're like, oh, and then because you see the chokers and everything, and you're like, oh yeah, we're definitely in this kind of territory now. So, and this is 2015, you guys. So, and from there on out, like any sexy song in K-pop, I think, has obligatory chokers. I feel like nowadays, quote unquote. I don't know.
I think this really like paved the way for that kind of like for that fashion trend in K-pop. So, and then like one certain group was really honed that like that look like to a T too.
Are you talking about the next song that I'm going to mention?
Well, yeah. Well, you can finish up on your big pick.
Yeah, no, because I mean, with Chained Up, like, I mean, besides the obviously very explicit like lyrics, especially if you're into that scene. But I mean, it talks obviously about like, being, tied down by love, that, being tied down by love and that kind of love, which I feel like a lot of the songs like that I tend to gravitate towards when I'm like finding how anthems kind of have that kind of like, like that obsessive love. And I don't know why I tend to gravitate towards that kind of song, but I don't know, it's just some kind of like weird fantasy, or just kind of brings that like, that kind of that like that image or just that kind of vibe to it. And just like, yeah, but it's like with this and just that kind of builds, the song just kind of builds more and more and more until it gets to the end, and then just how the lyrics just change at the end slightly, and then just kind of builds it all to, builds it all up till it ends, and it just ends, and it's just like, whoa, okay, we're done. Holy cow. Like that kind of feeling at the end. You're just like, we got there. Just, whew. So, and like, and just to know too with Vix, like they've always been like a performance heavy group. Like their comebacks and their style have always been like, they've been always performance first. Like their comebacks have always been just like, they've always been like the story driven kind of performers. So, and this is another one of those examples.
Yeah, and that's something I should like look into more too with Vix, and I should like explore one of like their other works other than Chained Up, because I think it's like the only song that I'm like into from the group. It's the only song I know from.
Yeah, I mean that's one of their most popular songs, for obvious reasons. But they have quite a few, but yeah, this is for obvious reasons one of their most popular songs, and yeah, it's very good. It's very good. I highly recommend it. So
yeah.
And then and my next song, and I say this hands down every time. If you are making a whole playlist or a thought anthem playlist, if you leave this song off this playlist, I will disown you because you cannot leave the song off this playlist. And the song I'm talking about, of course, is BTS's Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yep, I think like a lot of like the BTS song, I wish I could like included a lot of like the BTS tracks, as well as like from their member V with the song Singularity. I was like so close to putting that into my picks, but I just like left it out. And I think I would like leave you to your devices with BTS, because I think I know you're more familiar with them more. And Blood, Sweat, and Tears is like considered to be their magnum opus throughout their career.
It is hands down probably their sexiest song. It's also possibly their sexiest era, hands down. I will say Wings era is probably their sexiest era, period. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the music video, is their sexiest music video, period. Yeah, just everything just from the, because I mean, even the song itself it's again that drastic difference, because they were trying all these different things, from going from their hip hop roots, and going away from even from the previous era, which was a little bit more ballady, and then kind of having more pop stuff. But then they were kind of still doing some more hip hop stuff with their like more of their B-sides. And then this was like playing more with a little more EDM and trap and some tropical beats and stuff. And it's just, and then it's talking about again this like that darker love, and that love that kind of tears you apart. And this whole album itself is a very dark album in terms of its themes. But yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears is a song that is just like, its themes in itself are very dark. And
like another song with biblical symbolisms as well too. Because in the music video that they showed like paintings and like really famous sculptures, like as well as like the Pieta, like some angelic like statues, as well as like the painting called, I think it's called The Fall of Man. I had that like painting in my like Facebook page before, but
there's There's a lot of classic art references. There's references to Damien by Herman Hesse, which there are references to that all leading up to the music video. There are mini films leading up to it that they used to tease the music video, as well as the album itself, as well as their alternate universe that added to it. And yeah, there'd be biblical references because there's the apple and there's the temptation. There's the temptation of Christ. There's a lot of just like playing with sin and the darker stuff. And I there hasn't been, I don't think there has been an era like this. I think their closest era BTS has had something like this has probably been Black Swan. Since then.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is and it's so it's trippy, and it's so I love this is hands down my favorite BTS song, period. I say this all the time, but this is seriously my hands down my favorite song of theirs.
I think same here. I think it's one of my favorite songs from BTS, and I think it's the song that really there's other songs that really spearheaded them into popularity, but I think this one is one of the one that set them on the top and made them a group that a formidable group that should be, I guess, recognized and from a small company such as Big Hits and Blood Sweat Tears.
Yep. So, I'm done rambling about BTS. So I'm actually going to keep going because I think we're going a little long here. So I'm going to kind of try to hit these. That's okay. I'm just going to try to hit these last ones out here. But the next group I'm going to hit is
it's going to be long. You said it's going to be short.
I say it's going to be short. It's never short. The next group I'm going to hit up is a group that's just kind of come onto the scene. It's a group called Six, and I'm actually going to have two songs from theirs. One is a B-side of theirs called Blackout, which I think is a crime that the song is a B-side that never got a music video because it is super it's super clubby, and it's just got just how it just how the bass drops to it and stuff, and just how it's built up and stuff. How just how the beats build up and everything. And then also I recommend with them because they just had a comeback previously, which I know we didn't cover on the show, but they just had a comeback. But I'm talking about their last comeback, their previous comeback to this one, which was Jungle, back in October, which is very again, one of those very dark, kind of sinister sounds, but it's also it's very EDM heavy, but it's also kind of got that very trap-esque too beat that just kind of makes you want to grind. But it's also got, again, that it kind of the dragging you down, kind of that love drags you down, that love that traps you kind of theme in it. And the music video, again, is art.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Jungle, you mean Jungle?
Yes, for Jungle, yeah. If you want another, really artistic K-pop music video, go check out the video for Jungle. You won't understand what the heck's happening, and you don't have to. But it's art.
Yeah, and Six, I know they're a fairly new group, but they're the kind of they're the kind of group that is kind of almost thrown under the rug. People are not really able to recognize them as much as other fourth gen groups such as AT, ATs and other or Treasure, and I really hope Six gets their shine in the industry or in the music scene in K-pop, because their songs are really such good club bangers. I really like the song called Movie Star, which is also it could be a good pick for a whole anthem. But they have a really good club beat into their music production. And really do recommend having Six is something that you guys should listen to.
Yeah, no, Six is one of those groups that's up and coming that I think is really under the radar, that should have more eyes on them, because they are really talented, and they only have 4 mini albums out, and they are really up and coming in the world. And they have quite a few actually co-anthems out there, I think. Movie Star is definitely one of them, and so is Numb, I think. So
Numb. Apparently, like a bit of a fun fact, apparently that song Numb was supposed to be given for Super M to sing too, but they gave it to Six instead. I just
Oh,
like saw that,
really?
yeah, that information in like some random video or like a picture I saw, but like, oh, I was kind of surprised, and I would imagine Super M being able to like do the kind of like that song too. But yeah, I think they should have put Six into like the Kingdom lineup for Mnets. I don't know, it's my opinion. Okay.
I don't know. Speculation, but yeah, no, really go check out Six. I'm so mad I forgot about Six's comeback last week because we should have covered their album because Cinema is such a good comeback. But anyway, I digress. We're going too long, so I'm trying to hurry up because I know I'm going to ramble on my last two picks. So,
oh no, I think I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave it to your own devices, and I'll try not to chime in.
This is what happens. You saw what you left me. But before we do that, I'm gonna touch also. My next pick is again another subunit. Actually, is a subunit of GOT7. It is just two. Is the subunit form of JB and Yum, which is the oldest and the youngest member of GOT7, and means actually just two.
Yes, so, I love the name.
I know they're so creative. They're so creative. But yeah, this was the unit they formed back in 2019 that they decided to do, and they released a mini album in early 2019. And one of the songs they released was a song called "Focus on Me," which it just blows me away every time I hear it. Like, it just has this like great like beat to it, just how it's just like produced, just like this like I don't know how like just a great like R&B beat to it. Like I don't know who produced on it, but it's just so great. It's so clubby, and just both of their vocals are so well, because like JB just like his pitch is so well, and just like both Yoga and JB's voices just like are really beautiful together, and they bring like this like soulful like sultriness to the song. And it's super sexy, and like you just really want to like kind of like sit in the club and just kind of want to like just kind of like enjoy the evening kind of song.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I feel every time I listen to the song. And it's again one of those music videos that you really want to like watch while you listen to the music video, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, I would like I really want to thank you for like putting that song into like our whole anthem playlist, because I keep on seeing the thumbnail, but I never got into like clicking on it and like listening to the music. So I really wanted to thank you, Jenny, for like formally introducing me to that song, and it's just like a really nice groovy selection that you have there.
It's so groovy. It's such a groovy song, and it's just super. It's so sultry. I love it. I introduced that one to my boyfriend, and he really dug it a lot. So
nice.
That's another win for me. Anytime I get a K-pop song past my boyfriend, I call that a win. So. So, all right. I swear I'm not going to try to take forever on these last two songs. I'm going to try not to.
Good luck, Jenny.
Jenny knows why.
Fighting.
Okay. So my second to last pick is I'm actually going to pick a unit song from Stray Kids. This is from their last re-release. This is from In Life. This is the Dance Racha unit song. So Dance Racha is the unit comprising of Lino, Hunjin, and Felix. And it is a song called Wow. Basically, it's a really sexy song. Like, I know I say everything's a sexy song. That's the whole point of this list. But it's just like just the way their voices flow. Like, yeah, they're a dance line. Like, that's their primary focus in Stray Kids, is that they're all dancers. But like all three of them have really great vocals as well. Especially because Hunjin and Felix can rap well too on top of it. So they add that like extra layer because they can rap. And they add a little bit of to that as well, to the track, and it's just adding to this like just kind of like clubby beat, but it just adds. I'm trying to think. I can't think of words. My brain just like went. all of a sudden, because I'm just like, all of a sudden thinking of because now I'm also thinking of the dance performance they had, because they finally, because when they had their concert that they did online, they actually had a dance performance of this too, where they danced in water, and it was spectacular because dance Racha. And yeah, I mean, it's again one of those just like again the production behind it, because I'm assuming 3RACHA had, you know, obviously hands in the production part of it as well, because they produced nearly everything in Stray Kids. 3RACHA being the rap line of Stray Kids. You know, it just has like just the beats. It seems really simplistic when you kind of look at it, like how it's built up, but it flows together super well, and just kind of feels like one of those songs like you would go to the club, but you kind of would like end up grinding on somebody and just kind of like jamming and like doing whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hanging out, like doing that kind of thing. Like that's what I feel like when I'm listening to that song. Like every time I listen to it. So
yeah, I think I should really like delve into like Stray Kids, especially with their subunits, and like, you know, I think I should listen to that song again. And but the first, I really think, you know, you really could have picked a good upbeat track into the playlist. And because I usually think of like Stray Kids as more like the more angsty, like more like hard driven, aggressive, like more of like a K-pop like boy group that talks about like more of like a social issues. But I think but you really put like more light into like what else that they're able to like make and produce. And
I mean,
WoW is like really, you know, a really good like pick for you to show a different side of them.
Also, you got me dripping like wow. I mean, I'm sorry, like there's no other way. And finally, last but not least, I swear to God, I'm not going to take forever talking about ATs. I won't. You know me.
Liar.
Shush. As I talked to her 40 minutes before we recorded about AT's comeback. The last song I'm going to talk about is AT's song from their second mini album called Desire. This is the B-side from their second mini album, Desire, or called Desire. I think this is actually one of their more sexier songs too, showing a different, again, kind of like Stray Kids, where WoW shows a different side of them. I think Desire shows a different side of ATs, a bit of a more, you know, like more mature, sexier side of them too. Not as explicit in its sexiness though. Like you could kind of read on it on different levels if you wanted to. But I just, with how it's produced, because it kind of starts a little slow with how it starts, you know, with how it starts with the vocals, and then how it, you know, but it kind of slowly builds up. But then how it kind of goes into the chorus and stuff, like, and then it kind of grooves into the chorus. It has this really grooviness. And then, but then when it drops right at the end there, right before Hongjun drops it right at the end, like before he like literally screams it into, you know, I love my desire, like right near the end there, like that's when I feel it, like, that's like the whole build up is just kind of like this whole journey into it, like just kind of like this whole, the whole journey.
Like finding like something that they desire the most.
Pretty much, yeah. And like you could read that desire into whatever you want it to be, especially because I feel like they leave it really wide open as to interpretation. If you read into the lyrics, you could definitely, you know, read into it. But yeah, it's just the vocals, because all the vocals just blend in super well, and then the raps and stuff too. And I find that really well. Obviously, with all the AT's stuff, like they blended in super well. And yeah, it's the whole build up to it that I find super sexy.
It's like a narrative build up into the climax.
Yes,
for myself.
Yes, I know you painted yourself into a corner there.
If I heard that, he would have been like, you know, would have been so proud of me.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I find it a little bit is one of their sexier songs. especially before, like I said, before Hong Jun like shouts, "I love my desire." It's just like, okay, hi. Like I get it, Hong Jun. Holy crap. And then also to note too, like how in the way this album comes out, like it literally is like holla holla, say my name, and then desire. It's just like, okay, I'm exhausted. Jesus. Like my God.
They leave you spent out.
Oh, pretty much at this rate. Thank God, like it's a slower song after that song. But yeah, like, because I mean, like AT's stuff is like, from what from I'm sure what Jenny knows stuff is like, we won't qualify as sexy. It's a little bit more story driven, but I think Desire is one of their sexier jams. I'd say Inception's up there too. As of
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I say Inception 2 is their most recent comeback is sexy too. We'll see if I get something sexy this comeback cycle, but I don't know. If I do, I'll probably combust.
More like an upbeat, yeah, thinking more like I'm bringing more of like an upbeat tune into like their comeback. That's how it feels like with like their concept photos that they're doing. No, sorry, I was about to say Jenny. I was about to like do another joke and just shoot, I forgot.
I blew her off, huh?
Oh, dang it. No. Wait. Oh, dang it. I lost my joke. I just had it and then I just like threw it off or dropped it.
I'm so sorry. Or am I sorry or am I not sorry? I don't know.
I don't know.
We've been talking long enough. We should just plug our stuff and get out of here. We've been rambling about Ho Anthems for long enough. We should probably get out of here before we get way too horny. So Jenny, do you want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, I guess I really like teased you with that take though.
God damn it!
Yes, I don't know. It's a new joke that I came up with, but it's a good replacement for what I just lost. But anyways, for like my plugin, you can find me on Instagram at Jenny Designs, so that's GINNY Designs, or on Facebook at Jenny Leano Designs, so that's LEANO. And you'll be able to find more of my personal pages listed down under my design platform. So you'll be able to see my personal usernames too, and from Instagram and on Twitter. And Jenny, back to you.
And you can find me, Jenny. You can find me over on Facebook. Just search Jenny Madisek. That's Jenny with an I. You can also find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find the show page also on Twitter and on Instagram at Noonas _podcast. Don't forget the underscore. We also have a Spotify page. Spotify link will be linked on our Twitter and Instagram pages, so you can link up with us. We're going to be having all of our Spotify playlists for all of our episodes there, so you can check out all of our playlists in one location. We're going to obviously have a playlist for this episode there. All of our past playlists are also located there on the page. One-stop shop, so you can like get a good sample of like all the K-pop we're talking about. But yeah, this has been a marathon horny session of the Noonas podcast.
Yeah, but at least we can like get into like a good foreplay hour into like our picks for like the Ho anthems, and hopefully you'll be able to appreciate and be able to check out like more of the groups and the artist's discography after that.
Hopefully, yeah. Like I said, a lot of these do please check out the music videos because they add a lot to the song. A lot of them are B-sides, but a lot of them are singles. So if there are music videos, please do check them out. They add a lot. So I guess that's it for next week. Next week, we have comebacks next week. So we're gonna have album reviews. I think we're gonna have a Wikipedia next week too with Shiny.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because they're on their way. They'll be back, is what they say in Shiny.
Shiny's back. So
Shiny's back.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to actually diving into Shiny this weekend. So that's my goal. So, but with that, I think we're off with a fighting.